We stroll across this planet in the arrogant certainty of being its masters, yet we have forgotten that we live only upon the thin crust of a world that has long since marked us as prey in its depths. We split atoms, we connect continents with fiber optic nerves, and we look upon our satellite maps with the pride of a conqueror. But those maps are a gargantuan lie. They only show the sunlit facade, the skin of the apple. Beneath that skin, 95% of our planet lies in absolute, hostile, and eternal darkness. The truth is a bitter pill to swallow. We possess high-resolution imagery of the cold dust on the far side of the moon, yet we have no idea what truly breathes at the bottom of the Mariana Trench. Recently, a tremor has vibrated through the digital world. Satellites have glitched, capturing silhouettes the size of aircraft carriers where the charts say, empty water. Deep-sea cables, the very veins of our internet, have been severed by bite marks that defy every known predator's jaw structure. The rumors are reaching a boiling point. Has the Leviathan, the apocalyptic primordial monster of myth, finally awakened after eons of silence? Today, I will show you 5 photos that should never have been taken. Evidence that the prehistoric era isn't a collection of dusty bones in a museum, but a living, hunting reality deep beneath your feet. And it is hungry. Take one last deep breath of the surface air, because we are leaving the light behind now. 1. The Zuyo Maru incident. The stench of eternity. It was supposed to be a normal day of work on the high seas, but what these fishermen hauled from the darkness reeked of decay and an epoch that should have been extinct for 60 million years. April 25, 1977. The Japanese trawler Zuyo Maru was operating off the coast of Christchurch, New Zealand. The crew was hardened by years of salt and storm, expecting nothing more than a routine catch of mackerel. But as the heavy winch groaned under a weight of nearly 2 tons, the ocean gave up something that would haunt their dreams. As the nets cleared the surface, a foul, oily stench hit the deck, a smell so ancient and putrid it caused grown men to retch. Tangled in the mesh was a colossal carcass. It was nearly 10 meters long, with a neck that stretched out like a serpent, a tiny skull, and 4 massive, fleshy flippers. It looked like a nightmare birthed from the Cretaceous period. Captain Akira Tanaka, fearing that the rotting thing would spoil his expensive haul of fish, made a decision that historians still scream about. He ordered the monster to be cast back into the abyss. But before the sea reclaimed its secret, Michihiko Yano, the ship's assistant production manager, knew he was looking at a miracle. He grabbed his camera and snapped 5 legendary photos. He even took measurements and collected strands of horny fiber from the flippers. When the photos reached Japan, the nation exploded in plesiosaur mania. Professor Yoshinori Imaizumi of the National Science Museum stated on the record, "It is not a fish, whale, or any other mammal. It is a long-necked plesiosaur." Think about the implications. If this creature was rotting, it had been swimming, hunting, and mating just weeks before. Somewhere in the cold, pressurized currents of the South Pacific, time hasn't moved in 66 million years. The Zuyo Maru didn't just find a dead animal. They found proof that the extinction of the dinosaurs was a surface-only event. What else is down there? Far too heavy for our nets to ever lift? 2. Moklembembe, the echo of the jungle. Deep in the impassable heart of the Congo exists a creature whose very name brings the flow of rivers to a standstill and leaves modern biologists facing an unsolvable riddle. From the salt spray of the ocean, we journey into the green abyss, the Likuala swamp region of the Congo. This is a place so dense, so humid, and so infested with life that modern drones lose signal and explorers lose their lives. Here, the local pygmy tribes speak of Mokolomembe. Translated, it means the one who stops the flow of rivers. To them, it isn't a myth. It's a dangerous neighbor they have lived with for centuries. Eyewitnesses describe a creature the size of an elephant, but with a tail as thick as a tree trunk, and a neck that rises from the muddy water like a living pillar. In the early 20th century, German explorers were stunned when they showed pictures of various animals to the locals. The tribesmen ignored the lions and hippos, but when they saw a drawing of a sauropod dinosaur, they pointed in terror and shouted, "Mokolembembe!" In the 1980s, Dr. Roy McCall, a renowned biologist from the University of Chicago, risked everything to find it. He didn't find the beast, but he found its trail. He documented massive 3-toed footprints pressed deep into the jungle mud, tracks of an animal that, according to our biology books, died out with the T-Rex. Then there is the 1980 photo taken by a fisherman. A massive, dark silhouette arching out of the water. Skeptics call it a floating log, but logs don't have muscles that ripple under the skin, and logs don't possess the territorial aggression to decapitate a hippopotamus in a single strike. Mokle Mbembe represents the ultimate shadow in our world. It suggests that our modern Earth still has pockets of the primordial world where the rules of man don't apply. If a 30-ton dinosaur can hide in a swamp, how certain can we be that we truly own this planet? Perhaps we are only guests, tolerated as long as we stay on the paved roads and out of the deep green. 3. Champ. The intelligence from the depths. While tourists unsuspiciously splash in the shallow water, military microphones in the depths recorded signals of an intelligence that we wouldn't want to imagine in our worst nightmares. We cross the Atlantic to the border of New York and Canada, Lake Champlain. This isn't a remote swamp or a distant ocean, it's a popular vacation spot. Yet, beneath the sailboats and jet skis, something huge is watching. His name is Champ. With over 600 documented sightings, Champ is the best recorded lake monster in history, seen by everyone from local fishermen to high-ranking police officers. The centerpiece of the mystery is the 1977 Mansi photo. Sandra Mansi was watching her children play by the shore when a serpentine neck, nearly 6 feet tall, rose from the mirror-like surface. She snapped one photo before the creature slipped back into the depths without a splash. The FBI and forensic experts analyzed the negative for years looking for wires, models, or double exposures. Their conclusion? The photo is 100% authentic. There was no tampering. But the most chilling evidence isn't visual, it's acoustic. In the early 2000s, researchers from the Fauna Communications Research Institute deployed ultra-sensitive hydrophones into the lake. What they heard sent a shiver through the scientific community. Biosonar. They recorded clicking sounds and pulses identical to the echolocation used by dolphins and whales to hunt in pitch-black water. The problem? There are no whales in Lake Champlain. It is a freshwater lake, landlocked for thousands of years. The frequency of these clicks matched no known species of fish or mammal. It suggests that Champ isn't just a lost animal, but a highly intelligent, prehistoric survivor that has adapted to use sonar to navigate the murky depths of the lake's 400-foot deep trenches. A species that has learned to observe us while staying just out of sight. While you're swimming in the sun, something in the dark below is pinging your body, calculating your size and deciding if you're a threat. 4. Ogopogo, the gaze of the Basilosaurus. A video from 2022 proves it is no mere silhouette lurking in the lake, but a predator fixing you with eyes that have already witnessed the downfall of the dinosaurs. In the rugged wilderness of British Columbia, Canada, lies Okanagan Lake, a glacial remnant over 80 miles long and so deep in some areas that the bottom remains unmapped. This is the home of Ogopogo. The indigenous Siles people have feared this entity for thousands of years, referring to it as Natica, the water demon. They never cross the lake without an offering of a small animal to ensure safe passage. Fast forward to October 2022. A local man named Dale Hancher was filming the water when he saw a massive serpentine head rise 3 feet above the surface. Unlike other sightings, this wasn't a blurry shape in the distance. Hancher's footage shows a creature that looks like a living prehistoric whale. He later described an experience that goes beyond biology. He felt the creature studying him. It wasn't the blank, mindless stare of a fish. It was the piercing, analytical gaze of a mammalian apex predator. Cryptozoologists believe Ogopogo is a surviving Basilosaurus. Living 34 million years ago, the Basilosaurus was an early ancestor of the whale. But it didn't look like a blue whale. It looked like a 60-foot-long muscular sea serpent with small hind limbs and a mouth full of bone-crushing teeth. When you watch the videos of Ogopogo, you see the multi-hump movement, a vertical undulation that only mammals possess. Fish move side to side. Whales and ancient basilosaurids move up and down. This means whatever is in Okanagan Lake is a powerhouse of muscle and bone, a relic of a time when whales were the terrors of the seas. Imagine you are paddleboarding in the silence of the morning, and a 50-foot shadow, older than the human race, glides silently just inches beneath your feet. Ogopogo isn't a myth. It's a reminder that some things never went extinct. They just went into hiding. 5. The Yeti crab, the beast from the end of the world. In a place that would crush any human in a fraction of a second, researchers have discovered a pale phantom that whispers a cruel truth. We know absolutely nothing about the true power of the abyss. To conclude our descent, we leave the lakes and swamps and dive 7,200 feet down into the South Pacific. Here, near the Easter microplate, the light of the sun has never reached. The pressure is enough to flatten a car into a pancake. In 2005, a deep-sea submersible illuminated a scene that looked like it belonged on an alien moon. They found the Yeti crab, snow white, blind, and covered in thick, silky fur. This creature lives on the edges of hydrothermal vents, volcanic chimneys that spew toxic, boiling water at temperatures over 700 degrees Fahrenheit. It is a world of poison and fire. But the Yeti crab doesn't just survive, it thrives. It has no eyes because it doesn't need them. Instead, it grows its own food. It farms colonies of bacteria on its hairy claws, waving them in the chemical-rich water to harvest energy from the Earth's core. The Yeti crab is the smoking gun of the deep sea. It proves that life does not need the sun. It proves that nature can create biological marvels that defy every rule of normal biology. Now, apply that logic to the rest of the ocean. We have explored less than 5% of the seabed. The Mariana Trench goes down nearly 36,000 feet. If a crab can evolve to live in toxic boiling water at 7,000 feet, what kind of titanic, bioluminescent horrors have evolved in the rifts that are 5 times deeper? The Yeti crab is a messenger. It tells us that the deeper we go, the more alien life becomes. It tells us that the Leviathan doesn't need to be a myth. In the crushing pressure and absolute silence of the Hadal Zone, there is enough space and enough energy for creatures we cannot even name. The Yeti crab is small, but it is a harbinger of the giants that wait in the eternal dark. If the small ones look like this, how terrifying is the king of the abyss? The return of the giants. We look at the ocean and see a beautiful blue playground. But history and these 5 photographs teach us a far different lesson. The sea never surrenders its secrets willingly. These creatures are not mere anomalies. They are the first cracks in a dam. They are the scouts of a world that existed long before us and will endure long after our modern maps have crumbled into dust. What do you believe? Is the Leviathan merely a story we tell ourselves to keep us away from the edge of the boat? Or do we share this spinning rock with beings that are older, wiser, and far more dangerous than humanity itself? Which of these 5 encounters made your blood run cold? Stay vigilant, stay curious, and the next time you are standing on the shore feeling the cold tide wash over your feet, remember this: you have no idea what is watching you breathe from the blackness below.